Okay, so this is lab 5 for chapter 6, and it's called Authoring Assistant. And like for me this time, the program is long and complicated, but I wouldn't say it's hard, it's just too long, like a lot of things to write about. So here, from the name, Authoring Assistant, we know this program is to like analyze a text. Like if they enter a sample text, we can identify this text. Like for example, we can find the number of like non-white space characters, and we can find number of words, and we can find some specific text, and we can remove all the markers, and we can also shorten the spaces. So like first of all, like we have to ask them to enter the text that they want to identify. So like first of all, we can use like scanner, right? So scanner, we ask them to enter the sample text they want. So I use a string like all this to identify those variables, right? And we can tell them to enter the sample text, and then we tell them, yeah, you did that, and you did enter this text. Then and then we can do the following, which is this couple thing, right? So then we let them to make their options, like which one they want to go. So we come up here. This is option part, right? So we let the readers make their own choice, like which letters they want to put in. Then we do each things they want. So if it's case C, we put them in the number of non-white space characters part. I will talk to them later. Like so for different part we use cases and we put them to like different parts. So it's gonna be case C, case W, and case F, and different thing, right? So first of all, let's just go to case C first, right? So C, which is C, part C. So in part C, we can find non-white spaces, right? So I just create a new part of it. I mean, so I define integer like for example I and j, and if then we ask them to find the length of it, as if it's false, then we output j, and j equals j plus 1. We return j, then we can find the non-white spaces. And the next part is number of words. So, like for example, identify I, the integer, and identify another variable called word count, and use for loop to find if this equals false, and we do plus plus word count, right? And if that's false, we return the word count, so we can find like how many words are in this text. And the next one is part F, which means we can find a specific text in this program. So I identified integer j and word count again, and then we ask them to input the word that the user wants to find. So I have to identify another integers called user's word length and user word, right? And if those equal, so we can find the specific words and how many are there. So that's part F to find the text. And for part R, which means we can replace all these markers. Well, I don't know actually what this name called. So I just use replace. It's quite simple. You just replace all this to a period, right? And part S, which means we can shorten the spaces. So we use for loop, and we can see it down here. So we use for loop again. So if this white space equals that, and its n is white space, and then we do j equals I plus 1, and we do the same thing here. If it's false, then user input equals this thing. Then we return user's input. And so now let's try it, right? So let's just run it to test. So we enter a sample text, which should appear. Let's just use here. Here. Control C, Control V. Right? Here we have our nice text. We enter. And now we have entered our text, and now we can do something about it. Let's just start with C. Right? So we enter C, and it tells us the number of the non-white space characters, which is 181. And then we can do number of words. We press W, and we can find the number of words is 35, and it's exactly set here, right? Then we can find the text. Find the text. No, just F. Maybe we just do more, right? It said more here. We just do more. And more instances is 5, which means it has 5 more in here. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 more. So it's correct. And then we do replace all this marker. So it's R replace, right? So we back to here. It has this at the end of the article. So we go up here. And this at the end of it, it's a period instead of that. And then we use S to shorten spaces. And I think it just did that. And I think it's great. Yeah, shorten spaces. And then we press Q, which means to quit. And it showed nothing here, which is great. And I think that's it. That's how this program works and what it can do to help whatever it is. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.